Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. It's Thursday, it's the 11th of November, it's Remembrance Day. If you are currently serving, thank you for your service. If you have, thank you for your service. Yeah, important day in the calendar. I think time to stop and think about people that have sacrificed so much for everybody else. Anyway, updates today. We've got a load of mods. We've got a load of updates. Updates today. We have got, well, this popped up last night, but the Avant series by ITS. Then we've got La Carnea 2.0 by ER Shaba Toy Mateo VSR Modding Sir. The map Jatoba Farm by DH Modding. The Thunder by Hemerson Dentino. The Cow Pasture by B Gamer 003. And the Grain Storage by Kobe KO3Y. Have all had updates. Now, there's a couple of other things that are showing in their changelogs as updates, but are new. Weirdly, one's not on the mod hub, but the other one, say, on the website, but has popped into the mod hub. That'll be the last mod we're looking at. And the other one just shows up as a new mod. I can't remember which one it was now. It might be the Malwa. The Malwa 560 pack by North Modding Company is a top mod, but that does have a changelog, so I'm assuming it's just new to console. Anyway, that's the updates. Oh, yeah, don't forget as well, I think I'll pop it up on the screen. It's like Christmas. It's the countdown. 11 days to go. It's the 11th today. Releases on the 22nd. We've got 11 days. The countdown continues to FS22's release. Right then. Unfortunately, if you're excited about 3-meter cultivators, we haven't got a 3-meter one today. But we have got in front of me the Lizard V4 2.5 meter. This is 3.87 megabytes download, 4 slots on console. This is by Streak, and it's a disc arrow, this one. I mean, it still cultivates, but it's a disc arrow. You'll find it under Tools and Disc Arrows, because I just said it's a disc arrow. There it is, 2,500. Only requires 25 horsepower, so if you're starting out or you're doing small farm work and stuff like that, absolutely perfect. It is 4 slots, goes down to 1. This will run at 8 miles per hour. We can change the main colour to, I mean, it's a fairly muted colour palette, but there's a few different colour options on there to choose from. And this will cultivate to 2.5 metre. I said 2.5, about 2.5 times. Then there we go, cultivated state, 2.5 metres. Nicely made, nicely detailed, lovely. Next up then, I'm going to do all of these first. We'll get all the cultivating equipment out of the way first. Next up, we have got the TM96M 7 Anchors. Sounds like a pub, doesn't it, the 7 Anchors? Sort of place you'd find down in a port somewhere. There you go. This is 1.42 megabytes download. It's by Thomas96 Modding and Arator24. This is a 1.9 metre cultivator. It comes in 2 flavours. You've got this one here with the shanks, and then you've got that with shanks and Bigfoot. Sorry, shanks and the sort of cage bit on the back. I couldn't help that as soon as I said shanks. Oh, if you're a young'un, you probably don't remember shanks and Bigfoot, but check him out. That thumping sound is the dog. He's just been in the shower, so he's decided just to thunder around the house trying to dry himself off. Good old farm dog. So I've got one of each because I wasn't sure whether that one would give you like a ploughed state or subsoiling and that one would give you the cultivated. As it turns out, they both give you exactly the same look. It's just a visual thing on that one. This one is under cultivators. So the 7 Anchors is 4,500, 1.9 metres. Only requires 60 horsepower. Slot count is 1 anyway, so stays at 1. Options available on this. We have the option of standard configuration, which has the cage roller on the back, or without roller, which is the sort of 2 that I showed you. I thought there were colour options on this as well. And the same as before. Drop it down, off you go, then it will cultivate to 1.9 metres. Like I say, that one will do exactly the same thing, but I thought I'd get them both out. So that was by Thomas96 Modding and Arator24. Then we come on to this. Awesome looking bit of kit. Something a bit different. This is the Fortschritt T890B01 Cultivator. This is 14.03 megabytes download, 12 slots on console. It's by Grabfeldschmiede and Ingo 376. It's a 9-metre cultivator. It gets transported, as you can see, in that direction because obviously it's not too wide for going down the road. Then when you get it where you're going, you unfold it, which puts this section down. It puts this section down, which we'll show you in a second, and you cultivate in that direction to 9 metres. This is under cultivators. You probably just saw it right next to the other one. The Grubber. Nice. 20 grand, which is pretty good for a 9-metre cultivator, and requires 100 horsepower. We'll run at 9 miles per hour. Options available, we can change the rim colour to anything on that palette. Let's go with yellow, for example. Main colour to anything on that palette. So the Fortschritt colours mainly. Then we've got standard or tread on the tyres if you want tread on them. Can we zoom in a bit closer on that? Yes, we can. There we go. Those are your options. So, like I say, once you've arrived in the field, what should happen is, if I press L1 and X, it unfolds that section. It should then unfold that section. Both of those are down, and then we should be able to disconnect. I like the animation on that rear section. It's just swinging as it goes, because that just bounces along behind, breaking up any clods you might get. It's quite a lot of mods today, so I'm very kind of, oh, that's a bit wobbly, that, isn't it? Oh, there's a lot going on there. Let's drop it all down. And away we go. Big old bit of kit. Lot of metal going on there. Let's see if I can double click. Will that work? No. I wondered if it would fast farm. You never know, it's always worth a check. I know, who am I? I've become DJ, I can't help it. I do check on most things now. Even if I do it off camera, I will have a look. There you go, 9-metre cultivator. Not too expensive. Not huge horsepower requirement on that either. Very nice indeed. So that was the Fortschritt T890 B01 cultivator grubber by Grabfeldschmiede and Ingo 376. Moving on from there, we have this. Before you say it, we've already got an Annenberger field liner. We have, you'll see why. This is the Multifruit Addon by the Lort. It is 0.04 megabytes to download. There isn't technically a slot count on this because what this mod does, it takes all the trailers that are standard in game that have limited fruit capacities and gives them all the capacities. So the field liner, this one is normally a forage crops only one. I know we've got some of the other ones, the distinction and my mind's got blank. We'll have a look in a second anyway. That would only do cereal crops and wouldn't do other things. And so what this does is kind of levels the playing field across all of them. If we go to our tools and trailers, and the one I've got at the moment, that's the standard in-game one, the field liner. And you'll see there it does forage crops down the bottom. If we carry on going, oh yeah, distinction, the pace setter, that was the word I couldn't think of. So now, these ones that say mod, that distinction takes everything. The field liner takes everything. The pace setter takes everything. So the standard in-game, I mean, this is, I suppose, more relevant for, well, not really, I'll say more relevant for the forage trailers, but just makes all of the trailers take everything now. So it's those ones, the sort of standard in-game ones that had limited capacities, let's put it that way. Not, I'm using all the wrong words today. Not capacities, you know what I mean. So that one that would normally take forage crops, I think I put soybean in it. The great thing with the field liner as well, this one, is because this raises. So when you do that, you can unload into larger trailers, which I absolutely love. So with this mod, it means you can have everything in it rather than just forage crops. It's a nice add-on. It's called an add-on, isn't it? The Multifruit add-on by the Lort. Very handy to have. Moving on from there, we've got the Polish Egg Cell Point. This is 12.11 megabytes download. It's by Fudzo. It's 26 slots because it's quite detailed. There's a lot going on. You'll find this under Placeables and Miscellaneous, and it's 5,000. Obviously, it might be a little bit more if you have to level the ground, if it has to do a bit of landscaping to place it. But like I say, the egg cell point bit is on the side there, as you can see, eggs. And then we've got a few other bits and bobs going on here. There's a couple of posters inside. We can go in. There's a counter and you can pick up fuel and oil and all sorts of stuff. I couldn't get that light switch to work. I couldn't get anything to come up for light. There is one light there, but I couldn't get a trigger to come up. I went all over the place trying to do that. But anyway, in essence, it's just a sell point for eggs. But, you know, if you're looking for something a little bit different, or you're playing on a Polish map and you want an additional one, you absolutely can. The Polish egg sell point by Fudzo under Placeables and miscellaneous. Next up, we've got the wood shed. This is under sheds. This is by user 555. It's 5.35 megabytes download. 5 slots on console. There's a lot of 5s going on there. This will cost you 35 grand. Again, depending on where you need to place it, it might be a little bit more than that, but the standard model itself is 35 grand. Nicely detailed, nicely sort of, I would say textured. Texture always implies to me, well, I suppose it is a texturing, isn't it? It gives that look of what it should be. And I went around it and thought, hang on a minute, there's something wrong with this. There's no doors. They're sliding doors. If we go to there, we've got sliding doors at different points along its length. I think it's 4 in total. Got that right. And then one here as well that goes the other way. There we go. I mean, kind of hidden doors in a way. There's no lighting inside. It's fairly narrow, but then if you've got smaller vehicles, you can back those in, or you can put pallets or bales or whatever you want in there. I'm not too sure, actually. Does this say whether it's seasons ready? It is. Seasons mask, snow roofs available. It only gave me one option, really, when I got it. So I say, that's under Placeables and sheds, and it'll cost you 35 grand. Fantastic. That's by user 555. Next, we have got this. This is the adjustable drawbar pack by EY Modding. 0.13 megabytes to download and 1 slot. It comes on a pallet, and you have the option, I mean, you can pick the pallet up and move it around if you want to. The drawbar will attach onto smaller tractors. Now, the premise behind this being, and it does say in the actual description, how to use this in real life. Two-wheel drive tractors struggle on slippery ground when towing a heavy trailer. This tool is used to apply force upwards from the bottom of the trailer's drawbar. So you put that drawbar on the bottom links, and then when you hook a trailer on, it goes above that drawbar, and you pull up on the links, and it applies upward pressure on the trailer. So whereas the trailer normally would be pushing down on your ball joint or however you're attached, and that forces it down and can get slippy, it lifts it up a little bit and then puts more emphasis on the axle rather than it. You know, in game you can adjust it. It is a drawbar. I did have a fiddle around because I thought, I wonder if it's like the drawbar we had before, where you can lift it up and you can make stuff run faster. I didn't get that. If you lift it up any higher, it just puts so much weight on the rear, it pulls the whole lot down, which I'll show you in just a second. This you'll find under tools and miscellaneous. So because it's a pack, there's a drawbar round or a drawbar square, both 100, both 1 slot anyway. They both come on pallets, and you can pick whichever colour you want from that colour palette. That's how that does its thing. What did it say? It was EY Modding. So we hook up that. Now, it raises the whole thing up, so what we can do is L1 and circle lowers the entire drawbar. Now, I found when I hooked up something before, it did that. So all I did was went back to the drawbar, lowered the arms, and that's the problem, it does that. So let's lower that drawbar back down. It just gets a little bit funny when it does that. So that's the drawbar lowered, and what you can do is manually then adjust that. So L1 and right stick, up and down, so I can bring that drawbar up, and it comes into contact with whatever trailer you're pulling. And it's just you notice there, it just takes the weight onto the axle. I mean, in game, is it going to make a difference? You have to be careful, because if you go too much, like I did before, like that, you're putting all the weight on the drawbar, and it can cause you some problems. I think it's just one of those ones to add a bit of realism. And you might find if you've got a two-wheel drive tractor, you're going across a field that you're having a few issues, it might work really, really well. That's what it's supposed to do. That's how it kind of operates in game. I haven't found, like I say, I didn't find that it went any faster or anything. The seeder still ran at its usual speed. It just does that, as far as I can tell. The adjustable drawbar packed by EY Modding. Moving on from there, we've got some more trailers. This is the NL27. This is by JD Manu. It's either Manu or Manu. Could be a Manu fan. JD Manu 96 and Black Eyes Modding. 2.74 megabytes download. These are 2 slots each. They are, for all intents and purposes, identical trailers with the same capacities. The difference is this one has the Cressetto logo, but you can then change it to other coloured vehicles, other coloured manufacturers. That one comes with the Lizard brand, so it depends if you want specifically a Cressetto, if you wanted it. What was I going to say? Nothing other than let's have a look. So under trailers. So the NL27 is the one that's got the Cressetto logo. They're 20 grand, so not too expensive. If you go on to the initial size, it's 28,000 litres, so 20 grand for 28,000 litre is pretty good anyway. We can change the rim colour to anything on that palette. Let's do that, for example. Then capacity, we can go from 28,000 to 35,000 litres. The price doesn't change. Now, I did think, and I always check it, when you do the extensions of that, often it means that it becomes a forage trailer or silage-sided trailer, and it will only take forage crops. Not the case with this one. Whether you have it on 28,000 or 35,000, it will take everything. So if it's not costing you any more, I suppose the only problem would be if you've got a small harvester with a lower pipe or something like that, then maybe you want a smaller size like that. But if not, for no extra money, you can go up to 35,000 litres. We've got Trelleborg or Michelin. The Michelin's a standard with no options. The Trelleborg, we've got a standard and a wide. And then design, Cressetto, Fendt old, Fendt new, John Deere, Class, New Holland, back to Cressetto. Now the problem with that is, when you go through those other options, it changes the colour, but the Cressetto logo stays there. So realistically, this one is a Cressetto only. I mean, you can change the colours if you want, but it, to me, wouldn't make a lot of sense. The NL207 is exactly the same trailer, same options available. The difference with this one is it hasn't got Cressetto on the side. So when you change the colours, as it says there, green and orange and then red. There's a few other ones. Then we've got Fendt old, Fendt new, and you can go through the different colours, New Hollands or whatever, to match up with other vehicles if you've got them. There's no grain door on this. It's a standard unload. The only difference between the two, other than capacity, is there is an option. I couldn't work out why it wasn't letting me do it on the smaller trailer. That's because on the larger trailer, L1 and right stick up and down, we can raise and lower that front latch. If you're doing forage work and you're spraying in there, sometimes you'll have that bit down to make it a little bit easier to get crops and stuff in. But as far as unloading goes, L1, R1 and triangle. Fairly standard tip animation. Not a bad speed either, it's not slow to unload. As you can see, the rear axle does steer. So all in all, yeah, not a bad download megabyte wise. Slot count's not bad. Capacity, the fact you can go from either capacity and it doesn't cost you any more. Bit of a result, really. The NL27 by JD Manu 96 and Black Eyes Modding. Next up then we've got these. This is the back grabber loader. I know I've got one on the front, but it's a back grabber loader. 1.93 megabytes download, 2 slots on console. This is also by EY Modding. Goes on a 3-point link, as you can see. It raises and lowers. It has a grab. I think that's 1,000 litres. That one there that's open, more of a cage, let's put it that way, is for potatoes and sugar beet. But in the options menu, when you go to choose it, you can have one that looks like that, which then will do bulk crops, which will pretty much pick up anything else. So I went for one of each just to show you, and the fact I didn't put any potatoes or sugar beet out, and I've just tipped that, I should be able to show you that one, hopefully. This was under, that's a good point, I think it was under tools and miscellaneous. The back grabber loader, yeah, 6,000 to buy. Slot count's 2, comes down to 1. It is 1,000 litres, and it says potato and sugar beet there, but when you go into the options, sugar beets and potatoes, or bulk. So just changed it from the cage to sort of filled in the sides. And then if we go to design color, anything on that palette, and then main color, anything on, well, same palette, but I don't want to pick the same color. There we go. So you can mix and match up to your vehicles, or however you want to go about it. It's entirely up to you. So what should happen is, I'll put it on this on the back already, I think. Let's start that up. Let's swing it around. So what we can do is we can auto lift or lower. So L1 and circle lowers it down to ground level, raises it up. Then L1 and right stick manually, it goes quite quickly. You have to be very gentle on the right stick. And then I'm going to open the help menu. I can't remember. Oh, there, L1, R1, and right stick up and down opens and closes the grab. So it might be you want to use it for loading into a trailer. You might have an auger pipe or conveyor belt or something like that. I hope this is going to work now. This is going to be really embarrassing. It happens, doesn't it? L1, R1, and right stick open. Let's drop that down, then close it. Does it take 1,000? You know what? Not bad. 984. That actually worked really well. And then obviously whatever you're going to put it into, whether it's high or whether it's low, it does move very quickly. And then let's open it up again like that. And there we go. I mean, I say it's a fairly simple design. Obviously it's not simple, but it does the job, doesn't it? So that's it. That's the back grabber loader by EY Modding. Moving on from there. I think we're on to... oh, no, we're not. We've got... there's loads. We've got this, and I love this. I love it. This is the JCB Teletruk. 6.94 megabytes download, 8 slots on consoles by RossN Mods. Now, this is the early version of the modern Teleskid. So like I say, the Teleskid is the modern version. It's a skid steer loader. They do a tracked version. I think they do a wheeled version as well, with a telescopic boom. So this is the early version of that, really. It's like a forklift look, but I think it looks fantastic, and the boom on it is just brilliant. Like I say, 6.94 megabytes download, only 8 slots. I love, look at that. Oh, Union flag on the side, how lovely. You'll find this under vehicles, and I think oh, now was it miscellaneous? It was miscellaneous. 48 grand, 62 horsepower. We can change the main colour. I mean, it's pretty cool that you can change it, and the rim colour. We've got glosses, and we've got mattes. Actually, I do like the matte one on that. That looks quite cool. Not necessarily in the green, but then we've got design standard or beacon down. So on the back there, we've got standard, doesn't have a beacon. Beacon down, puts it underneath, or beacon up, above. Those are the options on it, really. Let's hop in, start it up. Horn. Lights. And then that was the reverse light. Beacon on the top. It's brilliant. Love it. Interior. Visibility is actually pretty good. Really. Let's swing round to there. And then come back out. So we've got a raise and lower, as you normally would do. But then we've got, it just keeps going. Look. That's fantastic. So you kind of got forklift capability with skid steer loader. I mean, it's just perfect. I like that a lot. mean, there's not really a lot else to show on that. It takes skid steer loader implements, so if you want to put anything on the front skid steer loader, or there's a few different, if you get the CSZ pack by DD Mod Passion, there's a few different adapters, so you can go skid steer loader to other things if you want to go down that route. That's the JCB Teletruck by RossN Mods. Next, we've got the NMC 560 pack. This is by North Modding Company. I will get there. This is 29.19 megabytes download. It is 28 slots on console for the main vehicle, and then you get a trailer that comes with this pack as well. That is 1 slot. Now, they're not separate vehicles. It does kind of, I say, explain in the description. Kind of explains. You'll find these under vehicles and forestry machines. And you've only got there the 560F. If you're looking for the 560C, it's the same vehicle, just a few adjustments. So this is just smaller versions of the other forestry equipment. So it's a smaller forwarder, smaller tree harvester. I think the cut length only goes up to 6 meters. As you can see, it's a lot cheaper as well. So again, if you want to get into doing a bit of forestry but don't want to be spending 400,000, 500,000, that kind of thing, it's a better option. So this is the forwarder version. You've got the back on it, and you've got the crane for loading logs on. I generally move the crane out of the way and load logs on using other things, but we've got the option of Trelleborg, Ollis 4s. There's no other options within those, or NMC's own tracked version. This does say it's got 3D tracks in the description. Now this is the one that says changelog 2.0. Now I don't remember having this on console before. I could be misremembering, but it's showing on PS4 release today as a top mod, not an update. So anyway, and then we got options of forwarder or wood harvester. Now as the wood harvester, that's still only 132 grand. So if you want to go out and do some forestry fairly cheaply, it's a good alternative. So you've got it like that. And the same options on the tracks. You can have Trelleborg, you can have Ollis 4s, or you can have the NMC, which all works out very nicely. And then if we go to tools, and I think this is under forestry equipment as well, you'll find the trailer, which is only 5 grand. The slot count for this is only 1. There. So the harvester is 28, slot count for this is 1. Options available, again, Trelleborg, Ollis 4s, or the NMC tracks. I mean, if you've used any kind of forestry equipment before, if you've seen any of it or whatever, the options are the same pretty much. I'll disconnect from the trailer just a second. That's the trailer, yes, you can see behind. The trailer will attach to either the forwarder or the harvester. So if you want to take your harvester with the trailer out and do a bit of forestry, you've got it all in one neat package, or you can attach the trailer to the forwarder, do your tree harvesting, and then your forwarder goes from there. Depends how you want to go about it. So L1 and right stick up and down does that function. Side to side does that function. R1 and up and down does that. R1 and side to side does that. And then if we actually swing around so we can see the light a little bit better, L1, R1, right stick side to side, rotates it that way. And then L1, R1 and left stick up and down gives you that, or side to side, gives you that tilt, which I do like on a lot of the NMC gear. So if you want to pick logs up from the ground, if there's any fallen or one drops out or anything like that, you can actually harvest from the ground. If I turn that on, like that, so you can then harvest, it will come up with cut and you can pick stuff up off the ground, which I really do like as an option. So that's the movement of that. L1, R1 and X changes our driving position, so we're now facing that way. So actually using the crane from inside, the crane, the harvester can be done from that way around, and you can also drive a second camera angle, so you can drive it that way around as well once you get out to the forest or whatever you're doing. Horn, lights, pretty bright. The NMC stuff is always pretty good with lighting, I have found. But like I say, you can see straight away, it's a more compact package. It just works, you know. I like it. And then the trailer will hook up to there. The trailer does have straps. I do that, you'll see, you'll just about see two sets of the ratchets appear on there. Turn that off. So that's the harvester option, and then we've got the forwarder. The bunk isn't adjustable, does have straps on it as well though, and then it's the same controls for the crane. A lot of people don't like using the cranes because they're not, you know, often they can be a little bit finicky, but the options are the same for control groups like that, and then L1, R1, rotate the crane head and open and close it like so. We can also L1, R1 and X change our driving position too, so same thing again if you want to do it like that, or if you want to change it and do it from the crane, the same as you can with the harvester head. You absolutely can. Like I said, it's a good pack. I like the price. I'm just really gutted that with 11 days to go, a lot of these mods, and we're getting some really cool mods in the last knock-ins of FS19. Nice affordable harvesting gear. Looks good, works well. What's not to like? Unless you don't like doing forestry, then of course you're going to hate it. That's the NMC 560 pack by North Modding Company. And then last, I think it's last, but probably should have been first. Now this came out on PC the other day. Now this is showing us an update on console today, but this is new to console. I know there's been a lot of talk about this for a little while. This is the Landoll 845AG Hauloll series by Custom Modding. I know it's a bit of a mouthful. On console, we've got it as Lizard, obviously. But it's Landoll. 24.5 megabytes download. Now, this is the one. This is odd in that the actual low loader section of this was 1 slot. That rear section was 10. I can't get my head around it, in all honesty. There are some brilliant options. Now, this is a low loader for the future. This will move anything to very, very large sizes and beyond, which we'll see in a minute. I've gone for the galvanized one. There's a black option on this as well. It's just so nicely made. I love that. You'll see, because that rear section can disconnect, but if you're carrying real heavy loads, you drop down the third axle on the back to take all the extra weight. But yeah, it's a really nice mod. So under tools and low loaders, you will find the 845AG Hauloll series. It's not cheap, but it's got a lot of cool gadgetry on it. As the front section is detachable, we can change the rim colour. We've got a chrome, stainless steel, white or black. I went for stainless, I think I did. The main colour, you've got black or galvanised. I've gone for the galvanised, but there's a black option there. Then you've got wheel cover, no or yes. That puts wheel covers over the back and over the front section. You just about see those appearing. Then coupling system, 3-axle, no or yes. Now I think that's for the rear section. If you're going to add the extra axle on, you want the coupling option for that. So I went for yes. Gooseneck flip extension. Now I put that on, and I'm regretting putting it on now. Well, if you're running a gooseneck, you can attach that to a gooseneck. I put it on, and rather than attach underneath, if I take that off, it's now attaching onto the gooseneck, which sets everything forward a little bit. I should have gone for that option, in all honesty. So if you want a regular hook up to your fifth wheel, you'll probably want to go for that. If you are attaching to a gooseneck, then you want that on there. Then we've got frame cover, which does that, puts all of that covered over with the ramps as well, so you can put in longer vehicles on. That works really well. Wheel setup, we've got standard or air system. Then oversized signs, we've got no. We've got flags. We've got aluminium signs, which I think appear when you put the extension on. I couldn't find anything before that. Aluminium signs and flags, then off. I think I went for that. And then we've got wood full. At the moment it's no, it's just the side strips, or you can fill the whole centre section with wood like that. And then we've got the rear bit, which is the extra axle, the third axle. Again, black or galvanised. Rim colour, same options. Wheel cover, yes or no. Frame cover, yes or no. Wheel setup, standard air system. Oversized signs, we've got no. we've got flags, we've got foldable sign, you can see there. Bottom oversized sign, or foldable oversized, and yeah, it's all there. And beacons and, you know, whatever that goes with it. So loads loads to be looking at. So you'll see what I mean when I hook up, because I went for the gooseneck. It flips the gooseneck down and attaches that at the gooseneck rather than coming back and attaching at the fifth wheel. So I probably should have done it the other way around. Anyway, that's it attached. That rear section, if I do that and attach, actually I probably should have dropped it down first. Let's attach that and to that. So that third axle on the back, if you get the trailer without it, right, now disconnect, there we go, comes on a pallet. So the third axle, that's the trailer, that's where it gets the trailer. That's the third axle on the back, which comes with that, and as you can see, it's got the oversized sign there. It's got one on the back as well. So when it folds up, the oversized sign is showing. When it's folded down, you can flip that up. You'll see in a second. Flags, etc. It's a fantastic mod. It really is. The level of detail. So that's it down. Such a long vehicle as well. But then if we go to that one and fold it up, you'll see that when it folds up, the oversized is on that side. Brilliant. If we want to go L1 and right stick up and down, that raises the whole thing up off the ground. So when you're ready for transport, you do that. When you're not ready for transport but you want to load up, L1 and right stick down, drop it down to the ground, and then we want to disconnect that. So a bit like the Godholfer, I always say Goldhofer, yeah, that other one. It does the same thing, so you load on from this side and then you pick the whole thing up and away you go. But this is what I meant about it being for the future, moving forward as well, because I'm going to open this up. I want to make sure I get all of the options. It says fold 845AG. Oh, that's for the back section, is it? Of course it is. If I go to that back one and then unfold, it puts the oversized sign up. Beacons on the back. If I go to that one now and we do open cover, so if we do open cover now, it opens the sides up so you can put wider stuff on. Fantastic. Open next cover, press it again, it goes even wider. Press it again, even wider still. Does it go one more? It does. Look at the width of that. I'm telling you, I don't think there's anything in game that won't go on that now. Where was that when I was transporting my mill loader? The mill loader is an absolute beast. That's incredible that it goes all the way out. Those extensions are just crazy, but absolutely brilliant. If I go to the front section and open cover, it opens up these bits here. There, then I think all the way out. But this actually has a strap on it. I haven't got any straps coming up anywhere else on the deck, so I'm not sure, in all honesty, what that strap does. But we can close the cover on that, all the way back down, switch back to that trailer, press it again, we can close those right back down again. And then lift the whole thing back up, like that. And we're good to go for transport. Let's put, actually, you know what, let's go all the way back to there, put that up, put the beacons on. I mean, it's a long beast, it really is, but let's be honest, it doesn't matter how long a vehicle you're using, it doesn't matter how wide a vehicle you're going to be using, this thing will move it. Now, I may well have missed an option or two, there may be a couple of things I have missed on that, and if I have, I'm sorry. There's a lot on this to be looking at. I factors in all the way out because of how long it is. It's just, but what a great mod! It's so well made. 29.19 megabytes download. It's fairly up there, but it's a brilliant mod. A lot of bang for your buck, so to speak. I should turn that off. Like I say, I may have missed something. I hope I haven't. Farm dog loves it. Farm dog loves it. Anyway, awesome. So that's the Landoll / Lizard 845AG Hauloll series by Custom Modding. And that's it. I think that's it for the mods for today. Whew, it took a while. This is the most mods we've had in quite a while, I'll be totally honest with you. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. If you want to pick up some MrSealyp merch, it is available now. There is a link in the description. But whatever you should choose to do, thanks for watching.